start inventing our own complementary colors. No, let's not do that. Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and as you can see, we've upgraded cameras. We're shooting in 4K now, which is really exciting. Also, the color should be quite a bit better. I'm gonna have to play around with the settings, so there may be a few weeks where we're looking a little different, but it's gonna be fun to kind of get that worked out. So I just want to say thank you guys for all of your support. It was actually the paintings that paid for the new camera. It was pretty fun. So we're gonna do a little winter scene today. We're gonna test this camera out with some beautiful warm colors and a nice sharp mountain. And if you're looking forward to this and you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. Now I've quickly mixed together kind of a peach color, and I've already put a little clear gel in white. Not a whole lot, just the tiniest bit up at the top. It'll be nice. It helps the colors to blend. And I know I'm using my gray palette. I only ever use this one for acrylics. Usually we're painting in oils today. And I know people are still going to be confused. It's okay, don't worry about it. We were painting in oils. I just couldn't get my other palette going. It's a little dirty, and I just didn't have time to clean it because I've been playing with the new camera. So anyway, you'd be surprised how crazy it is to change. You know, I guess you just get in a rut after a few years of doing it with the same camera. It's just quite a bit different, learning curve, and that's kind of fun, isn't it? All right, I got myself a little color there. That's a bonus. Let me just I'm just going to take some more of the red and a little of the blue. Try to get rid of as much of that yellow as possible. Anyway, there you go. And with this color, I'm just going to work it upward. And we'll transition into a darker blue up there. All right, that's looking pretty good. Just dropping in some purple clouds. And I like them. I think they kind of work. They have just a little movement to them. They're not just totally flat and straight across. Just a little movement on this side, at least, of the canvas. I don't know what it looks like. Maybe it doesn't look like anything at all. Maybe it's just kind of me. But I think it kind of just looks like a little storm. I don't know. Yeah. There. Pretty decent. Well, hopefully you are enjoying the new camera. And hopefully it's working. That's the better thought. Hopefully it's working. Otherwise, oh, it's gonna be kind of a bummer. Well, it's all right though. It's okay. Things may happen, right? We're not gonna worry about it. There, that looks pretty decent. Right there. Good. All right, so it's got some cloud movement, maybe a little bigger cloud action there. I don't care about it being too big. A little right there. Yeah, that looks good. And then maybe we'll just do a quick blend. Now I'm going to go ahead and just drop in a little mountain. I sketched the top with the 3/4 inch flat brush. Gave me a crispier line, and I'm filling it in with this old filbert brush, just scrubbing it in. And that will keep my 3/4 brush a little newer, longer. There. So it's good to have a couple. You'll actually save a lot of money if you have a couple, because you won't wear your good one out. You have one that's kind of rough, and you use that one all the time for stuff like this. And then you've got one that's nice and new, comes to a chiseled edge, you know, soft stuff like that. And you can use that one for getting it, you know, outlined. Just a thought. So a couple of each brush really tends to work out pretty well. I'm going to just bring this down a little further too. Now we've got another little mountain range here, so I don't want to go too far with this. I kind of like that gray that we're getting there at the bottom. Now here's my 1/4 inch flat brush. It's exactly like 3/4 inch, a little longer compared to the width, so it's not exactly like it, but you know what I mean. Anyway, 1/4 inch size. That was not the best explanation in the world. All right, here's some yellow, red, and white. Gotta have fun. All right, that's halfway decent. Right there. All right, now maybe I'm just gonna kind of start anywhere. I did not, this is crazy for me, I did not wipe this area down with a shop towel. I don't think I need to. I can just kind of look at the paint and tell. It's not glossy. It's not very glossy looking. It's not very thick. I can see the canvas. In fact, I kind of see through it into the sky, which is a good sign. So I'm not going to wipe it, at least not yet. If I start making mud, I will. But anyway, I'm just going to layer on some beautiful snow. Plus, I almost want this a little soft. I hate to use the word muddy, but almost wanted to touch muddy, just softer. And then we can just touch the highlights at the very end maybe, or just when we're done here, blocking most of it in. All right, That's really cool. So you just kind of work around in layers. Oops, did I screw up my color? We just got done with an art class. It was a lot of fun. And we painted mountains. Everybody did really good. With this brush, definitely made it easier. And so I've been using it more recently. Well, because it's brand new, right? But if you haven't got a chance to try it yet, definitely run over to the website and get at least one, because I think you will really enjoy it. In fact, I know you're going to enjoy it. There. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just keep piddling away at this. Oh, did I say that? Yeah. Until we are done. Good little shadows, kind of automatically as you go. Now I've got a nice dark purple here on the filbert brush. You can see I've been using just purple to map in that little mountain very much the same way, except I didn't do any highlight or anything. And I may not, I don't know, I may put more mid-tone in and kind of skip the highlight. We'll see. But anyway, we're just blocking stuff in right at this very moment. I'm going to put in this little rock ledge. For the most part, I've got dark purple. I would love to see some just notes of, oh, there it is, umber, just sprinkled in and around. Umber and purple work pretty well together. It's your new complementary color right there, umber and purple. Oh, we'll shake things up. We'll start inventing our own complementary colors. No, let's not do that. That would be kind of crazy. All right, there we go. So I'm just gonna bounce around, maybe a little bluer here. That's kind of pretty. A little more red there. Good. So we'll just block these in. The main thing here, when you're using a palette that's a little limited, not so much the colors are limited, but you know what I mean, the mixes are pretty much similar. You want to vary your color a lot. And I'm hoping that the camera actually helps pick up on all these little color changes that you ordinarily wouldn't be able to see so well. These subtle things that you see in person that I'm like, I wish you guys could see every last drop of color that I put in these things. So I'm hoping. If not this time, then I'll keep playing with the settings. So we'll get it. But that's fun. Now there's no medium down here. This is dry. I've got the 1-inch brush, a very, very, very faint color, just a pink. And I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab this purple that we've got down and just kind of pull it. These are sort of, I don't even have a palette in my hand. These are sort of shadows kind of starting to form. This is not, this is just the underpainting. This is not anything more than that. We will add perfect, well, I say perfect. We'll add distinct shadows with more of a vibrant purple. I think it'll be really pretty. This is just something for us to layer our next color over. We may need to wipe it with a paper towel depending on how much comes off this brush. Kind of leave my rock sketches intact just so I remember where I wanted them. Oh boy. So I've mixed up a quick purple color, nothing too crazy. A little warmth is good. Okay, so anyway, I've got my little flat, that's my 1/4-inch flat brush, and we're going to work on some trees in the distance. There's not a whole lot of, actually, I'm rephrasing that. There's very, very, very little paint back here, and that's good. That makes it easy to do this sort of thing. We need a little mist, so maybe before I do these, I'll put some mist in. So let me go do these over here. Yeah, just get some done. It'd be kind of silly to stop right now because this is already going. It seems like it'll save time if I just put everything else in except for that one row. So now I'm kind of moving forward here with some trees. Of course, this is out of order, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know out of order is definitely what we do around here. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to carefully bring our snow in and around these trees without damaging them too much. If we damage them a little, it's all right. This way, at least we get the whole painting kind of established. We see where our shadows are going to be. And I think it's easier to pick out the highlights around. That's just me. All right, most of this is going to be covered, so I'm not going to pay a whole lot of attention to that. It just kind of is what it is. Looks pretty good. I'm going to need to stop and get some more red out here pretty soon. I just need a few more trees on this side. I've been doing them with the little brush back there and then the filbert brush, because the filbert brush up here in the foreground. Gotta finish the sentence. And anyway, what that does is it gives a little bit of a ratty edge. See that? And I like it. It makes it look just a touch more detailed, actually. All right, not too much effort until we get the highlights and the shadows, and then we can place a few more in a little more accurately if we choose. Well, now it's time to finally start highlighting, at least the middle part here. That's looking really decent. Just, you gotta kind of think, you know, that sun's maybe actually, it looks like it's kind of behind this mountain coming through, you know, maybe some of the light's coming from around that. It's hard to say. The light's not like right here coming forward. It's definitely from the right. So with that in mind, you can kind of place in these little shadow or highlights. It's getting that time of the day, isn't it? There. That looks pretty decent. Just placing them on. Now I do have blue down here, so you'll notice I'm being a little careful. This is kind of a peach color. There's some yellow in that. That yellow could cause problems if you overwork it. So I'm being extra careful not to overwork it. Yeah. Maybe a little more red. The more red you add, the safer you're going to be. And it all is good because we have those colors up in the sky. Wouldn't hurt to kind of get oh, there we go, a little spot of highlight there. Nice. See that? Just kind of bounce around, almost like a little spotlight. Think of those little spotlights in the snow. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? The more of these little, these little bits and pieces you can add, the more detailed it's going to look. See that? You want a lot of little in and out pockets there of dark and light. It's going to be so nice. It's going to come together really quick. Some of these areas that are a little lighter against these trees, I just leave that there and call it a mid-tone. And it is a mid-tone. We built that in earlier. Just leave it. You don't have to paint the trees twice. Looking good though, isn't it? Now I'm just going to drop in a couple of rocks. You can see I put a little color here, not a lot, really not a lot at all. Just, now we're just working on these rocks, trying to get them in, making them look pretty much natural. See that? Kind of, but pretty rough, naturally matching all those mountains around them. You don't want to necessarily do just like a smooth round rock here. It's too rough for that. It would look out of place. So try to make your rocks, I kind of forgot where I was going to put that other one. There's a shadow there. We'll put a rock. I'm going to put a rock there to sort of make that shadow make sense. There, that looks good. But anyway, make your rocks fit naturally in with the painting. That looks good. Just a few hits of color, not a lot. Of course, you will need to go darker than the thing behind it. When you do paintings that don't have a ton of different color, then you've got to rely more on your values. So that's, gets a little darker as it comes forward. We're almost painting with black at this point, but we're not quite. We're saving black, and I mean just black, well, tinted with other colors for the trees in the foreground, which you've already seen because you looked at the thumbnail. There's never any surprises, is there? Not too many. I don't want it to be too busy in this area. Maybe, right now, do we want one here? Okay, I'll stick one there. I'm not really doing too much planning, not quite as much as I normally do, so I may get into trouble here. Well, this is a completely unplanned, but I think it looks cool, doesn't it? I just dropped in a little, well, I actually put a little pond back there just because it almost started to look like a pond, so I just kind of pulled down and thought, oh, that's cool. So I thought, well, maybe one right here. And I kind of like it. So what I'm going to do is, because this area was kind of plain anyways, I want to just carve this out with my darks, just any old dark. Really, what color is that? It's kind of whatever, isn't it? I don't know. You tell me what that is. But anyway, that is kind of interesting. See how it adds a little interest to the painting? Cool. We don't need to go get that dried piece of paint out of there, probably from the easel. There. Anyway, adds a little something to the foreground that I think is kind of nice. It gives that, it's like a drop off down into this little river, frozen lake thing. Change the shape. Anyway, I'll play around with this some more. But that also means we need to close this in just a little. Come on now. I wanted more of a blue color. There. Cool. So I just wanted you to be able to see how I make little changes on the go. I don't usually do this, but like I said, I've not got it planned out quite as good as I normally do, which is fun for a change. So now I'm just adding in a little tree, well, a couple of little trees, and then we're going to put a big one in. Anyway, I don't want to overdo this. The easiest way to not overdo it is to use the detail brush. Small, you kind of have to go slow with it because it is smaller. So you have a little more time to think. A little more time to think. Do I really want to come out this far with this limb? You know, so that's kind of nice. Slows you down a little. Yeah, that's looking good. I don't want to fill in perfectly. This is just, the background is so interesting. It would be completely silly to cover it up. In fact, I'm gonna, well, not totally skip that, but I'm going to, for the most part, skip over that rock because it's back there and it's interesting. This way we can see it. There. I don't know, you don't want it to look like you purposely skipped over it, so maybe a little, there we go. But I'll purposely go a little thinner there, like that. Anyway, that's the idea. Just, it doesn't have to come down all the way, actually. Just get a few of these details. We can, especially on these, we can add a little snow. Probably be a good idea. There. Nice, and then just real quick, what you can do is grab any, at this point, I got all my colors pretty much mixed up here, but just any kind of a shadow would be okay. Just placed right under here like this. Good. Yeah, that looks nice. All right, now we'll do the other one, but I want to show you real quick. I want to show you maybe right up here. Yep, right up here. I'm going to create a few branches of a large tree that's right down, and this tree's going to take up some of this area down here. Just get it kind of in there, and we'll refine it. But see how I'm just dropping it in like this. As I go down, I'll change to a bigger brush, kind of smash it in, and I'll take the detail brush and refine that. Well, here I am, breaking one of my rules. This is not something I normally do at all, but I thought I'd show it to you because it's really interesting. I just decided to try it, to tell you the truth. I've got just a little bit of oil, like I would use for my liner brush in my detail. I thought about doing it with the liner brush. I think it's a little easier with the detail brush because I don't want to add any paint. There is almost nothing, you know, as I rub my finger on there, let me show you, there's almost nothing coming up off of the canvas. So this makes this the perfect opportunity. I would not do this over a rock or over anything like that. But using this oil, this thin oil, I'm just taking the paint down that's already on the canvas and I'm literally thinning it like I would with a liner brush. And I'm dragging it. Don't use too much oil or it's just going woo all the way down. Yeah. But look how, what I'm trying to do here is create these beautiful little needles, evergreen needles here on this tree. And like I said, I can get away with it because of the amount of paint or the lack of paint underneath. I'm not too worried about mud. There, and if this doesn't work, I would say, you know, you could probably blot it with a paper towel and absorb some of this loose, wet stuff. All right, that's just what I wanted to show you. I'm gonna play around here with it for a few more minutes. We're gonna put some snow on top as well. Not a whole lot, mostly just shadow snow. I want to keep this contrast, and I'm only doing this to the edges. I'm not trying to thin out the middle or anything like that. Now, thankfully, we don't really have to highlight this. This is the shadow side of the tree, and it just wouldn't be a whole lot of light hitting it. So we're going to just go with this blue here that I've got mixed up. This is not thinned down at all. I'm just going to glop it on with some texture and get it to stick as much as it's going to, like that. Always constantly, you know, wiping the brush before you put it back on the palette. There, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. I mean, it's going to be more muddy out here, but you know, that's why I tell you to never thin your colors down until you're ready to use the liner brush, because you can't go back over them once they're thinned down. That's it. Well, we're breaking the rules today. But it just shows you how, look at that, with like one stroke and it's muddy. But that's okay. All of these colors I don't mind having in my shadow snow anyways. There. And if you wanted to compensate by making this blue a little brighter, you could do that if you're really getting mud. But this isn't too bad, actually. Not too bad. And I'm okay with a little brush stroke globby texture because this is close up. I also just don't want it that bright, so it's looking good though, isn't it? Just that little bit of snow kind of piled up on there makes it look a little more natural, and I like it. So we'll just keep playing around. Now the very last thing we're going to do here is just touch on, I mean, a little bit of yellow, not much yellow. I've got more paint than brush. It's the only way that this works. And you get about 3 strokes, and you have to clean your brush and then reload it. By cleaning it, we just wipe it on the palette. And I just want to give that a little indication of that sunlight. Well, I said it wasn't coming through there, it's coming this way. Just enough. We should do that over on the mountain as well. Just enough. That's just pure yellow and white. Maybe right up here. Just a touch, just to warm it up, give it all kind of that glowing highlight. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs and paintings for sale. Thanks for watching.